if you have wondered why I haven't done cinematic journeys in a while, this is why. That and there was other things, but I could have continued after the last one I did, which was anger management. Yes. But I didn't because I dreaded watching this film. So an explanation. So I am going to be doing the genre spotlight on comedy, and there's one movie I wanted to spotlight in that video, but I need to rewatch it again because it's been years. This is not that movie. I have to watch this movie so I can get to this movie, because I set forth my rules. I have to do them in alphabetical order, so Animal will come before Animal House, and thus I have to review this movie. So, welcome to Cinematic Journeys. We are looking at the 2001 Rob Schneider film, The Animal. There was a period of time when Adam Sandler decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make all my friends famous. Yes. I'm going to try. So he made Rob Schneider. He was the hot chick, and he's the animal. Then you had Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star, with Nick Swardson. And you have, the only decent of these, I think, was Dickie Roberts' former child star, which I think is a decent made film. This movie just... I will say that starting watching this, it did start out alright, and then literally went downhill. So if you don't know the premise is that Rob Schneider plays Marvin Mange, because Mange and animals, something happens to him, accident of some sort, something happens to him where he is put back together by a mad scientist using animal parts. And that's the film. He has wacky animal stuff going on. And, so yes, so I was with it up until a certain point. His name is Marvin Mange. He has a shitty life. He wants to be a cop, but he's just a file clerk. And so he gets his chance. There's this call that comes in for a robbery at a Chinese food restaurant or something, a Mexican, some kind of restaurant. And he has to go take care of it because everyone else is out playing softball. He has to take care of it. And I go, this is great. This is perfect. He's gonna get mortally wounded, trying to save people, trying to stop a robbery, and then he'll be together animal parts. Nope. You see, he doesn't make it. He doesn't make it to that call because he gets into a car accident and falls down a hill twice. He falls down part of a hill, and you think that he's fine, and then he falls down the rest of the hill. It's just like, why? It would make more sense if he got shot or something and got brutally injured and needed the parts that way. Falling down, the hill twice and then getting smushed by a giant boulder. Didn't work for me. You could have done this nobler. I know, more noble. I know this is a comedy movie, funny joke, haha, but it didn't work. It wasn't funny. It was just, this guy's life is already bad. Let him go out trying to do something, not make his life worse. But now he's got animal parts. And the guy doesn't explain this to him. Oh, no. He puts him back together and then leaves him by his car. So Marvin, at one early part before this, meets a woman in a man's room. Excuse me. Named Rihanna. No, not that one. She wasn't a thing yet. She is played by, say on the back here, Colleen Haskell. Who is that, you may ask? Well, she was on Survivor. She came in 6th place on the original Survivor and has done nothing since then. Besides this movie and a few other things, but she's done nothing beside it. And starring in movies like this, I can see why. A movie where Edward Asner says the words, "My pantyhose are riding up. These pantyhose are starting to ride up." Something like that. Who cares? John C. McGinley is in this film, and he is one of the better parts because he's John C. McGinley. Being John C. McGinley, he wears a t-shirt that is entirely too tight, but he's a police officer. It's one of those button-up things that really too tight. But the third time I saw it, I'm like, man, that shirt is really too tight for him. But yes, and of course they do what they gotta do, the animal stuff. There's some things that are funny, I guess, but I can't really think of one. Like, he pees, like, he's on a date with Rihanna, and she goes to the bathroom or something, and he pisses all over the floor, and she comes back and goes, "You smell that? You smell that?" And he's like, "Asparagus, next table." No. You can't. It smells like piss. That's what it is. It's piss. You pissed all over the floor. No. The only thing I really did kind of like is his first little thing that he does, where he sniffs out, it's a little bit weird, but he sniffs out drugs that's up a guy's ass. And that's what gets him on the force. And I've never seen, like, I understand some comedy movies like this, or some movies, you have to have things stacked up against the main character, but these, especially John C. McGinley's character, are actively against him doing anything. Like, he's got 2 friends, a fellow policeman named Fatty, yes, that is his name, and another character named Miles, whose main characteristic and trait is that he believes he is the victim of reverse racism, which means that they, instead of, he gets special treatment, is what I can say. He gets special treatment over anyone else. And they use that for the climax of the film. We'll get there. But yeah, like, you see that? She filled my drink first. And I'm in the middle. Who does that? What? That's reverse racism. What? And it keeps going through, like, there's this thing where he's smoking, and he's like, he's smoking in the airport. He's like, "I don't know you smoke." "I don't. It's illegal to smoke in the airport." I'm proving the point. And, like, no one says anything to him. He's smoking in the airport. We get it. And they play that towards the end. So, when we get to the serious part of this, it's shown to us that possibly Marvin is starting to attack things at night, like cows and farmers and stuff like that. And I was really starting to get into the film again. It's like every time this film, I start to get into it, they do something to derail my experience. I was getting nervous, like, okay, where's this gonna go? I was thinking, okay, so we're made to believe, that everybody thinks that Marvin is this beast. I was thinking it's gonna be John C. McGinley. I was gonna be thinking, because the doctor shows up and says, "I performed this on someone else." I was thinking it was John C. McGinley that did it, and it was gonna be revealed that he went investigating where the car, what happened, and found the car, and led him to the, the mad scientist, and he forced him to put the, do the experiment on him, so he could be better than Marvin. That would have made too much fucking sense, though. Instead, they're gonna go the comedy route, and it's revealed to us that it's Rihanna which makes no fucking sense because in the scene prior, when they're about to get it on, he kept turning her around like an animal, and she questioned why he did that. Well, if you were part animal, you would just go with it, right? And so it's revealed that he's like, oh, that's why you have 6 nipples. Well, we didn't see that. This is PG-13. What? They're going to do a gag, or they have a litter of babies that look just like Rob Schneider. Baby with big Rob Schneider black hair and hairy butt cracks, even though babies don't have hair down there at that point. But, it's a gag. And then you have the line that Ed Asner says where he's like, oh, he's these pantyhose are uncomfortable or something like that. But how did they get out of this? Because there's a whole mob. There's a gag with Norm Macdonald, who is normally not funny anyway, except for in Billy Madison. But here, he's just kind of keeps asking questions. When do we light our torches? At night. Oh, someone already lit a torch. Can we just keep it lit all night? Yes. And one more question here. And if we're gonna separate it, should we set up a place where I don't know if I'm doing Norm Macdonald or Tom Radsberger, but where we can meet and become one big mob again? Just stay with the mob, okay? He gets kicked out of the mob, but he's shot at the end anyway. The only thing I did kind of laugh at is that, in some of Adam Sandler's movies, Rob Schneider plays the "you can do it" guy. In this movie, since Rob Schneider is the star, Adam Sandler plays that character. You can do it. Cut his freaking head off or something like that. Shoot him in the freaking head or something like that. I thought this a little funny. But yeah, did like the way they went with it. And here is the kicker. The whole payoff to the reverse racism angle. So, with, you have, the mad scientist guys there with Marvin and Rihanna, and the mob is there, and they're like, beast, beast. And she's like, yeah, I'm not the beast. Well, then who is? And then, he saves John C. McGinley, and John C. McGinley's still going to shoot him till Rihanna jumps in. That's how we get revealed. But they're like, who's it? So then here comes Miles. It was me. It was me. I did it. Well, I did not see that coming. Adam said, did not see that one coming. And then they just leave. They're like, no, we're not. Norm Macdonald has his only funny line. I'm not going to be in the mob that attacks a black guy. And they all leave. And that's when I realized it. They don't want to offend him. It's not reverse racism. They're just proving they're not racist. Because think about it. A mob attacking one black guy, that's racism. Nowadays, that would have riots and court trials and stuff like that. Something similar happened about last year. Just saying. But yeah, that's how they pay that angle off. With the reverse racism angle is that's how it's paid off. And I rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh, really? We're doing this? Guys, I must actively say, don't watch this. If you're going to watch a Rob Schneider movie, I recommend Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. Not European, Male Gigolo. That movie is actually pretty good. That one is actually pretty good. I recommend that one. This one, no way. Does it deserve the frying pan, though? Well, if it did, I would have grabbed the frying pan, but no. I'm going to give it a 5. Because there are parts I did like about it. Frying pan movie and stuff I just didn't like at all. There are parts that I did like about it. Of course, every time I started to like the parts, they then did something that derailed it. But I don't know. If I'm in a mood to have something in the background when I'm cleaning or do my dishes, I might pop this in. Who knows? Need a background movie, something I'm not really going to pay attention to, that much. I might put it in the background. I like to do that with a lot of Adam Sandler movies anyway. So, yeah. There we go. It's a 5 out of 10. So there it is. I can't remember if I gave these grades. I think I did. Maybe. I don't remember. It's been a while. I should actually look at my videos. But anyway, there you go. So now we can move on to an actual good comedy film in Animal House. That'll be the next one. But until then, what are your thoughts on the animal? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. My chest hair showing. I'll see you in the next one. Talking about